So, finally get to run my favourite short walk out round the Blorenge and back. Although, I think I could have picked a better day for it. It's very overcast and hazy rain. But never mind, we'll do it anyway. So, let's get a bit more gravel under the feet. Get up to the top of the Blorenge. And then we'll have a chat about why I'm doing all this. Let's go. So, where am I? What am I doing? Right. So, at the end of last year, I went to see a doctor. I had a few issues. I went to see a doctor, and he brought to light that I have, let's just call it an issue for now. We're not going to discuss it here. Maybe for another video when I'm not running. Anyway, it brought to light some issues, and I decided I wanted to turn my life around. I suppose you could call it a midlife crisis, only without the running out to buy a sports car. Instead, I decided I wanted to get fit again and lose weight once and for all. As after all, we all do that, and we all do it, we all put it back on. But I decided this time it was it. I was getting back down to where I should be, and I was going to get fit again. So anyway, I was watching YouTube one night, well actually more than one night, lots of nights, and I came across, well, I've always been a walker, but I came across a couple of YouTube channels about fast packing, which is basically like speed hiking, fast packing, same thing. It's like walking, only faster, obviously. I think the clue's in the title. Anyway, as I carried to watch on, I then came across trail running. And that's where the harebrained idea started, that I wanted to get back into shape and I wanted to take up trail running. Now, I didn't know anything about it at the time, and I hadn't run since I was about 16, so we're looking at 40 years since I'd run. And when I started in January, I couldn't even run 100 meters. That's how bad I was. So anyway, I carried on watching, and I decided I was going to get back into shape to run, and that brings us to where we are now. So let's get on a bit further, and then we'll do a bit more. So anyway, and back in January, I decided we'd make a start. So I came back from the UK to Abergavenny, started hitting the pavements for walking, but I decided to set myself 4 fitness challenges for the year. The first one was to be able to walk 25k non-stop. That was for the first quarter of the year. Second quarter of the year was to hike what they call Warnbach and the Dragon's Back. It's how long is it? I think it's about can't remember now. I think it's about 11-12 kilometer walk. And then my third one was to do the Penavant Horseshoe. And the final one, which was always going to be an optional one, was to be able to run 5k. Not necessarily in an official event, but just to run 5k. Anyway, the first one I did 6 weeks ahead of schedule, so that worked. Although I haven't done 25k since, but it's on the cards for this leave. The second one I did probably a week or so before the end of Q2 because I wasn't in the UK. The route guide says do it in 5 hours, 5.25 hours. I knocked that one out in, I think it was 4 hours or something like that. Just under, no, 3 hours, just over 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours 6 or something. And then the third one, head about Horseshoe. Now again, the route guides for this wasn't running, this is all walking one. The route guide for that says, I think it was like 6 hours or something. And I knocked that one out in 3 hours 58 minutes. I did actually run the last half a kilometre when I realised I was going to get it under 4 hours, which was nice. And the final one, which as I said was an optional one, the 5k, now that in theory was for December. However, I was in Singapore a few weeks ago and I went out for a run one night round Clark Quay and Boat Quay. Lo and behold, I managed to do 5k without walking, so I was really pleased with that. So obviously I then had a personal best of 38 minutes for a 5k. Last week I decided to go and do the Cumbrae Park run and I knocked 4 minutes off that personal best. Bearing in mind that everything I've done up until now has been solo, it obviously pays to run with people, gives you a bit more of an incentive. So anyway, so I've actually achieved all my fitness challenges for the year and we're only in July, which then has me thinking. I sat at home before I came on leave, well the wife came on leave actually, before I went to Singapore, thinking about it. And somebody had said to me, a friend of mine had said to me, unless you sign up for an event, you'll never do it. So I'm sat there one night thinking, 5k? Well, I can do 5k. How about 10k? I'm gonna walk for a minute. So I was googling what's around in Abu Dhabi for 10k's after the summer. And lo and behold, I've signed up for the Adnock 10k in December. So I then decided I needed a proper training plan now. Not just me going out and doing what I think is best. And as it transpires, I wasn't doing any strength training, which, as I've learned more and more, is essential for distance running. I'm not interested really in the short distances, which will bring me on to another bit in a minute. Like my walking, I prefer endurance and long distance. So the 5k was just well, it's because I couldn't run, basically. I just couldn't run at all. So the 5k was for that reason. 10k, again, it's a stepping stone. So while I've still been watching these YouTube channels, I think it's obvious where I'm going with this now. Because now I know what ultras are, and I never even knew what an ultra was. I have no interest in road running really, although I'm going to do the Adnock 10k. I don't really have an interest in doing half marathons on the road or full marathons. But why would I when I can come on leave and run in a national park? Come on, let's get real. Why would I want to pound the streets of Abu Dhabi, or anywhere for that matter, when I can run in this? This actually being my favourite short walk. It's a loop around the Blorenge from the Keeper's Pond. So I've walked this so many times. It's about 6.7k, and as it turns out, in my runner app today had me to do a 6.5k run. So it was a perfect time to come and run this, because when I started and realised it was all within reach, I decided then and there I wanted to run my favourite walk, which is what I'm doing now. Well, actually I'm walking at the moment. I need to be running again, otherwise the app will shout at me again. So that's where we're going. So let's go on a bit further and then we'll talk about the over and above 10k. Let's go. nearly done. Another kilometre or so to go. Oh, not even that. 3/4 of a kilometre. We're doing a 10k then at the end of the year. So why am I now carrying this big 12 litre pack, full poles, etc.? Well, a run like this I would normally just use a 1 litre waste pack for a 500 milliliter bottle, but next week I've planned to do another 25k. I'm actually going to start up here, Oxford Trail. I'm going to go across down this side of the valley, Monaco Park, up the other side, above Cumran, and all the way to Henders. 25 kilometres from the car park to our front door. I'm not saying I'm running it all. It's more a case of time on feet than running it all. I need to get back out there and do distance again. Obviously it's too hot in Abu Dhabi for anything more than about 5, 6, 7k at the moment. So that'll be my longest one for this leave. So 25k. Yeah, that rings a bell. Oh yes, that's half an ultra. So ultras start at 50k. 25k, it's half an ultra. I did actually want to run the Gower Peninsula half ultra this July. In fact, it's on Saturday. Unfortunately, we have a family party the night before, which I can't miss because it's my daughter's engagement. So I decided to give it a miss this year and hold my own ultra out of curiosity to see what sort of time I can do the distance in. And when I did it on the flat in Abu Dhabi, it's 5 hours. But that's walking on the flat. Certainly not up and down mountains. Well, not mountains, hills. So it'll be interesting to see what time I can get it in next week. Anyway, right, that's it for this one. I'm nearly back at the car. The car's in sight. Talking of a party, I've not got to go and do some cooking for it. Catch you soon.